ever heard of a story about a mysterious traveler who arrived in the New World before Christopher Columbus? He was an African. That sounds strange, doesn't it? To some ears, it isn't strange. But this traveler is related to a great king called MANSA MUSA of the Mali Empire. This traveler was also a king himself of the Malian Empire. So, do you have an idea of who I'm speaking of? To those who do not know, I am speaking about the great Abu Bakr II. Abu Bakr II. If you're interested in hearing his tale about coming to the New World or his mysterious death, tune in, because this is a really fantastic story. I enjoyed it very much, although it's very short. So, who is King Abu Bakr II? He was the 9th Mansa of the Mali Empire. Under his leadership, the Mali kingdom was very large, a very large one in the African continent. It was prosperous and everything. He wasn't doing so bad. But his story is not really long. There's not much to know about him other than that. And his journey. So, not much details are there about him, as I said before. But there are some accounts made by an Arab historian called Al-Umari, which he learned from Mansa Musa, that Abu Bakr, his brother, always had a strong desire to find out the unknown across the Atlantic Ocean, and he was sure that he could complete this scary mission. So, in the accounts of Al-Umari, the Arab historian, it is stated that Abu Bakr set it out 200 boats to cross the Atlantic Ocean. He did not go on this journey though. He stocked the boats with food, water, gold, and essential products that could last for years. Years! Imagine going on an unknown journey for years. This was a risk that the sailors were willing to take indeed. And what else was said was that he instructed his admiral to not return to Mali unless he had discovered something across the Atlantic Ocean, and to report right away, or if the journey had gotten too exhausted and the resources had run out. So several years has passed and not one of the boats have arrived at Mali. However, there was one particular day that one boat did magically appear at the shores. When the captain of the boat was questioned, he explained that all the boats that were set out in the Atlantic had been lost by the violent water currents. He also explained that he barely survived from drowning in a whirlpool at sea. After hearing this terrifying story of the journey across the Atlantic Ocean, Abu Bakr did not allow fear to get in his way. Upon hearing this tragic news, Abu Bakr prepared 3,000 ships. That's a large number, isn't it? 3,000 ships. Damn, the Malians are rich. Which other country at the 13th century had 3,000 ships? The Mali kingdom did. So he prepared 2 for his men and 1 ship with supplies to last for a couple of years. Mansa Musa, his brother, who was also his successor, was put on the throne to lead the kingdom until Abu Bakr II returned to Mali. However, Abu Bakr never did return, and so Mansa Musa became king of the Mali kingdom permanently until his death. Unfortunately for Abu Bakr II, his death remains a mystery. But there are stories that are told. What really happened to him? Do you think he died at sea? The Caribbean is not too far from Africa, as you can see on the maps. It's just a couple miles away. Take like 2 or 3 weeks, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm not a navigator. But do you think he died at sea, or do you think he arrived in the Americas? This answer is a very controversial one. So, according to African researchers and scholars, such as Mr. Deswara, if that's how his name is pronounced, and African historians like Ivan van Sertima, it was proposed that Abu Bakr II or his fellow men could possibly have arrived in the New World, in Central America or the Caribbean or the Southern Americans. This argument was indeed disagreed by European historians who firmly believed that Christopher Columbus was the first man to discover the Caribbean, aka the New World. But we know that European historians have a deep history of changing history to make themselves seem superior to others, especially with relations with African people. They always change it in their own favor. So, what are the evidence of the survivals of the Malian travelers or Abu Bakr II? Evidence that seem to support these claims have been presented. Places named of old maps, for example, are said to show that Abu Bakr and his men had landed in the New World. The Malians had claimed to have named certain places themselves, such as Madinga Port, Madinga Bay, and Seri de Mali. The exact location of such sites, however, are unclear, as one source stated that these places are in Haiti, and another source puts them in the region of Mexico. And also, according to the accounts of Christopher Columbus, and my friend Bartolome, yes, Bartolome. It was said that they found spears and goals and other Western African artifacts that they could relate to Mali, Also, there were also indigenous people who had stated that dark-skinned people had arrived in the New World and they came with gold. So, let us raise our cups or glasses, whatever drinking item we have nearby us, and let us cheer and celebrate to pioneering explorers like Abu Bakr II and the following men that preceded him and followed him on his way across the Atlantic Ocean to discover new things. It was a dangerous journey, and the outcomes were unknown, but they did it anyways. And may their mysterious little souls rest in peace. It's a short story, but I'm thirsty. So, I have a very important question for you. Do you think you have your Abu Bakr II spirit? What do I mean by this spirit? This spirit is obviously a mysterious one. But the most important thing about this spirit is that it is brave. It does not allow fear to get in its way. It does what it is set out to do. This was a man that was ambitious. His ambitions drove him to his achievements. Whether it was risky or not, he still wanted to find out whatever he wanted to find out. And what will the world be without this kind of spirit? We need people like this. And without people like this, we wouldn't have what we have today. Knowledge. I hope you enjoyed this tale of Abu Bakr II. I enjoyed it, though it was very short. He is my favorite character. I wish I knew more of him. But I like MANSA MUSA more. If you haven't heard the story of MANSA MUSA, I have uploaded a video. Thanks for watching this video again. And if you can, to give me a little support, like, subscribe, comment, and I promise you I will come out with much more stories of Africans and maybe Europeans and some names that you've never heard before. And of course, at the end of the videos, expect me to ask you, do you have their spirit? Because these people are phenomenal and their stories are legendary. Have a nice day now. Bye-bye.